put all of your outside stresses aside and get into a helicopter and develop this skill.
I guess for a student starting out, it's just stay with it. It's a lot more work than people initially think, but it's that motivation that you get from flight that keeps you going. It's so much work, but at the end of it, it's really, really satisfying.
Well, it all kind of starts with the initial drive, and it's all really hard. None of this is easy. None of it's gonna walk in, take a test, walk out, and have a pilot's license. And you'll get into it and you'll get frustrated at stages, and that's just part of the game. And if you really want it, you stick out through it. And the check rides are always nail biting, and they're always, second guessing yourself quite a bit. But it's a good experience, and with anything, you're gonna have to work to get what you want. And the work is something that's obtainable. It's not out of anybody's grasp. But coming up through the check rides, private pilot, I remember learning to hover, learning to go solo my first time.
Oh, that was a great experience to fly my first solo. And I was initially not that confident about flying helicopters. I thought whether I'll get it or not, because almost up to 25 hours, I still did not have that good control. So I was a bit upset. And Mr. Ben Fouts, he's really concerned about people. He's really concerned about his students and about instructors. So he just noticed that he saw the frown on my face, and he just walked up to me. It was good of him that he asked me, like, Bipin, what's wrong? I said, sir, I'm not able to get my solo, and I feel that the instructor suggests that I might take another 10 or 12 hours more to get my solo. It was so, Mr. Ben just said these few words to me, and it really motivated me a lot. It just inspired me. He gave me his own experience, saying that, okay, Bipin, it doesn't matter because it took him to get his first solo after 30 hours, so that's perfectly fine. Let me do one thing for you. Why don't I take one training flight with you? I was so happy and surprised, and it's a very rare experience, because usually presidents of schools are supposed to be very busy. They don't get time. But this gentleman, this gentleman had so much of time for me. Literally on Sunday, that's the only day that this Mr. Ben gets free for himself. But he was so kind enough. He came early morning, woke up early for me, and by 7 we were here, and that's it. He just started training me, and you won't believe the coming Monday, I would not say the next Monday, sorry, the coming Monday I was flying solo.
There were numerous points where I felt like I couldn't do this. Like I said, it's a skill that you're developing, and you find that you reach a plateau and it gets easy, and then you climb up again, and then it gets easy, and then you climb up. But sometimes there comes a point where it's a constant climb and you keep falling back down. You climb up and you fall back down. So I think on a weekly basis, I can't do this. But then you have one good flight, or you have one moment that you realize, I can do this.
The biggest step is your first check ride. Now you get past that, and you can move on from there. It's obtainable. I've done it. I've gone this far. There's no turning around now.
My name is Barrett Ligdig. I currently fly for Sunshine Helicopters, and I learned how to fly at Mauna Helicopters. Basically, back in 2003, I started flying R-22s with Mauna, and the flight training I received there was very excellent. They produce very good pilots, which is why it's really easy nowadays for Mauna graduates to get jobs.
Ben was not easy on us ever, and he knows that. But it was one of those things where you appreciate it after it's all done. Yeah. Not only does he teach you the basics of flying a helicopter, he's also putting in your head, the respect towards other pilots, conservative calls, weather calls and whatnot. And flying for Ben, I've never been pushed to do anything. And these guys, all this whole industry throughout Hawaii knows that. They know that Ben's a very reputable guy, and the company that he stands behind is good. And he puts out guys that make good calls, and it shows. Even with this company flying tours around Kauai in the R-44, we know that those guys are making safe calls because that's what's pressed upon them.
We videotape every tour that we take here on with Sunshine Helicopters, and let me tell you, the facial expressions that I get from the tourists that come here are just mind-blowing. They're just amazed at how beautiful the island is.
Flying the tours, it can be really stressful because you have safety is always number one, and then you want to give them a good time. You want to show them all the sights, and sometimes the weather, you know, throws a kink in things. So flying with people is great though, because you see the experience of flight. Sometimes it's the first time in a helicopter, and then the first time in a helicopter it's out here and over these dramatic landscapes, and it's just amazing seeing how excited they get.
Keep coming. Nice and smooth. Looking good. Stable. Down.
Flying external load is a whole new form of flying. It's a form of vertical flight. So it's a whole new aspect of flying to learn, to be able to fly the aircraft with a vertical reference instead of a horizontal reference. So it develops, or you can develop that skill over a period of time.
15 feet.
Not every flight school offers that training because there's a certification process that has to take place. The FAA has to come in and certify that the business has met all the standards of Part 133 certification. At that point in time, the aircraft gets certified for its specific type load, as well as the pilots that are authorized to fly that load. At Mauna Loa Helicopters, we have a R44 that we utilize for our external load training, and we're classified for Class B loads only.
Down.
At any point in time, definitely recommended after a student receives at least their private pilot certification. Is a great time during the commercial certification to at least come out and experience a couple hours of flying vertical reference and getting an idea if that's a career path that they want to take.
Most helicopter schools can be FAA approved, Part 141, and many are. We are one of only 3 helicopter schools in the U.S. that is accredited, and that's a step well above and beyond just FAA approval. Accreditation really is a higher standard of operating a business. This is what 4-year universities and community colleges go through in order to open the doors to their students. It's a process of self-improvement, but most importantly, consumer protection. And that gives you the security to know that not only is your training monitored, but also the business side of things is monitored and your investment is protected.
What I really like here at Mauna Loa is that everyone wants you to succeed. Everyone understands that you're going for the same dream as the other people, and everyone just does anything they can do to help you